Hey guys, this is Spencer again with Defense Training. Wanted to go over the topic of depression today. Depression is one of the leading causes of suicide, and it's one of the leading causes of other acts of violence. Um, People get depressed, they get into themselves, and they get what I call the dark place. And most of us have felt some form of depression, been down and out. Whether it stayed for us for a long time, it may still be there with some of us. Um, there's things we need to look for in a true severe depression. So there's signs of depression we need to know. So with these signs of depression, we have anxiety. If somebody's just having anxiety all the time, they could be depressed. Apathy. General discontent is a big one because there's a lot of people just discontent with their life, with their job, with whatever else, and they get depressed over it. They get down. They're like, "Oh, this is the best I can do." Um, Guilt of something they've done, of something they haven't done, something they think they've done. Guilt can be a lot of stuff. Hopelessness is the one you just can't. You're as far as you can go. You ain't got nowhere else to go. Life's not going to get better. Stuff like that. Loss of interest or pleasure in activities. Um, I think all of us go through this at some point. We just, I'm good. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. No. And you got to pull yourself out of it. Mood swings, all of us have a certain degree of mood swings, but if your moods are just constantly swinging, that could be a sign of depression. And of course, your sadness. The sadness is what people tend to think of as depression, but there's a lot more to depression than that. You've got agitation, excessive crying. Somebody just can't stop crying. They're just crying all the time. Irritability. A lot of irritable people out there that could be depressed. Restlessness, social isolation. Now you've got with your social isolation, some of us are introverted. We don't really like um, being very social, especially a lot. You know, I am a Christian. I do go to church. So I go to church. I'm around people there. I do that twice a week. If my family gets together, I go to that. But outside of that, I don't socially interact with a whole lot of people at all. Outside of my classes and stuff, I don't go out of my way to hang out with friends or stuff like that. I just don't. I'm an introvert. I like staying at home. Um, Now I do stuff at home, but I do stuff with my family, my wife and my kid. Um, so I don't socially isolate from them. But uh, if you have somebody that's typically extroverted and they're just not doing anything, or if you have an introvert that's just going and locking themselves in a room, that would be maybe a sign. Early awakening when you're not meaning to wake up early. You just wake up early, like 4 a.m. when you don't want to get up to like 6:30 or something like that. Excessive sleepiness. You're just sleepy. You're just tired all the time. Insomnia. You can't sleep. And then restless sleep. Um, and a lot that leads to a lot of this um, is exercise, eating right and exercise. So if you've got like restless sleep or you've got insomnia, the restless sleep could even go along with like that whole restless leg syndrome. You're probably not getting enough exercise and probably not eating right. And you're probably not stretching parts that need to be stretched. Um, Excessive hunger, fatigue, just tired all the time, just and not just a sleepiness, just a tired. You just can't do anything all the time. Loss of appetite, so it can swing both ways. Then you can have weight gain and weight loss. You just don't eat, or you eat too much and you gain weight, or you lose weight. You sit in the fridge. You go to the freezer and you pick out that pint of ice cream and you just eat the whole pint of ice cream. That's not good. I'm not saying you can't have ice cream every once in a while, but having ice cream all the time and eating a lot of it or just other junk food, ice cream is just a big go-to, that I've seen. So things to think about or signs to look for, whether in yourself or somebody else. Lack of concentration. We got the whole ADD, ADHD thing going on, and a lot of that could actually be depression. Slowness of activity. They're just like, no, no, no. Stuff like that. Thoughts of suicide, of course, this is the big one, and then repeatedly going over thoughts. So again, the thoughts of suicide, and if they're um, socially isolated themselves and they're just thinking that, whatever, repeatedly going over the thoughts and telling themselves stuff, the same thing over and over and over again, you end up in this dark place. What I like to call the dark place, and you start telling yourself over and over and believing that your life just sucks. It's horrible. It sucks. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just stuck here. People would be better off without you. Nobody would miss you. And then the one, seeing as I am a Christian, hell can't be this bad. Um, I've heard that a few times. Um, and I'm here to tell you it's going to be bad. If you end up there, it's not going to be the place you want to go. So you got to get yourself out of this dark place. There's things we can't control in our life, and there's things that happen. I can tell you that work, if you get in a job that is just bad, um, then you get thoughts and thinking to yourselves, you're not getting enough sleep. Not getting enough sleep, even though you want the sleep and you can't get the sleep, can put you there. Especially with a lot of you having new babies, you're getting 3-4 hours of sleep, if that. That can put you in this dark place, and then you have these crazy thoughts. So there's things you need to do to combat it. Especially husbands and wives, you need to take turns with this kid. Sleeping or whatever you can do to get that sleep, to get yourself in a place you need to be. Um, I know a lot of you have kids, didn't want kids, and then having another kid and didn't want the first kid, much less the next kid. Well, you've got to pull yourself out of that hole. If you haven't ever been in that dark place, if you haven't ever been in your own mind, um, if you haven't, just life was bad. And now I'm going to say that most of us put ourselves in the spot where our life is just bad. We've made mistakes, we've made decisions, and we're paying for the consequences of our decisions, no matter what that is. Whether it's a job, whether it's a crime somebody committed, whether it's drugs, whether it's you thought you could handle something you can't, you got too much on your plate, you get anxious about it, you start telling yourself you're not good enough, you failed at something. We're all going to make mistakes, and you can't let yourself get into that deep depressive state. Um, uh, but it happens to the best. There's a lot of people that have gotten depressed, a lot of people that have been in that dark place, um, and there's ways to get out of it. So here's some of my suggestions. Uh, First of all, get help. Now, with getting help, if you see your kids are depressed or if you're depressed, do not go to a doctor that is just going to prescribe you pills, because this one tends to make things worse, especially in the long run. And most people that have acted on their depression were on some type of antidepressant meds, whether they committed suicide, whether they shot up a bunch of people, whatever they did, they were on those antidepressants. Get away from them. They are not good. They are not what you need. Um, that doctor that's putting you on those antidepressants, find another doctor, and go to somebody that's going to help you. Now, they may put you on antidepressants and say, okay, now we've got to put you on some kind of regimen to get you off these antidepressants. Okay, I'm okay with that. But somebody that just says, here, take these pills, here you go, prescribe these, and just send you on your way, get you a new doctor. That doctor is not the one. He's not doing his job. All he's doing, he, she, whoever it is pushing pharmaceuticals on you. That's where he's making his kickbacks. That's where this country is failing, is we're putting everybody on these antidepressants, and we're failing. So some of my other suggestions is, one, pick up a Bible and read it. And I do have a suggestion of a Bible. I'm going to see if I can get it on camera. This is one right here. We're going to see if we can get it Can we see? Wow. All right, so to do this, I've got to hold it back. It's the Bible, and it is by the World Bible School, if you can see it right there. I'll put a link down there. This is a good study Bible, because just reading the Bible, it does help a little bit, but if you're like me, you want to dig a little bit deeper and understand some stuff. So the one by World Bible School is the one I suggest getting. They're cheap and they're good. Um, if not, reach out to me and we'll work something out and get you one if that's what you need. Also, there's a book called Muscle and a Shovel. This one helped me a lot. Um, in fact, I'm planning on reading it again soon because I really did like it. Pick it up, read that one. Um, Really good book about this guy that went through stuff, and I, there's some twist in it, but it's a true story. So read it. Help you out. There's a couple other books you can look at. The Power of Positive Thinking, The Power of Positive People, and there's a slew, but those are ones that I've read, and there's more. But I'm not going to get to an exhaustive list here. Um, Listen to Jordan Peterson. Go to YouTube, listen to him. I think he's got a podcast as well. He goes over a lot of stuff. Um, that deals with anxiety, that deals with weak-mindedness, that deals with depression. Listen to him, and there's others on podcasts and stuff you can listen to, but he's one that makes a lot of sense to me anyway. Um, if you're into rap, listen to NF. NF is a Christian that raps. He is not a Christian rapper. He doesn't rap about Christian stuff for the most part, but he raps about his life. And there in his newer stuff, especially his last 3 or 4 albums, there isn't any cussing in it. I do know he did some cussing back in his earlier stuff, and he even says that in one of his tracks. He said, "Just wasn't me. It didn't fit. I'm a Christian. I don't do that." But he goes to some dark places in his music to help people cope, and he's helped a lot of people cope. So if you're in a dark place, go over and listen to him. I've listened to him, and he's got some good stuff, and it gets your mind going, and that's one thing you need to do. Also, now Tom McDonald on YouTube, Tom McDonald will have some cussing in his words, but on YouTube he bleeps it all out. And he's got some, you've got Castles, you've got Church, and several others on there. Now, he is a political rapper for the most part, but he does have Scars. That's a new one that just come out. And these are a lot of stuff that you can relate to, maybe. Jelly Roll, he's got one called Save Me. That's one that you might can relate to, and that's what you're looking for. Uh, you're not alone in this. That's the biggest thing. If you're going through depression or somebody else is going through depression, they're not alone in all this. There's people that are depressed. There's people going through the same stuff, and a lot of times that's just what people need to hear. And also, a lot of times, get out and talk to somebody. A lot of times somebody just needs a decent conversation with people. You need to get off the phone, get off the computer, get off the games, decent food. And that's one of the things down. Start eating right, get off the junk food, the fast food. Find a diet plan. And I don't mean a diet plan as, hey, you need to lose a whole bunch of weight. I mean a diet plan that has good meals in it. You could try a low carb diet. That really clears your mind if you go to a low carb diet. You've got the keto diet, you've got the carnivore diet, you've got a slow carb diet, which is basically I more follow the slow carb diet, which is I eat really, really low carbs during the week, 50 to 75 carbs a day during the week, and then I kind of splurge on the weekends. And then I go back, starting Monday morning to that lower carb diet, and that really clears your mind a lot. So I do highly, highly suggest going to some kind of diet like that. The food that we intake has a lot to do with our mental state. So find a diet, find the foods in the diet that you like. There's a lot of the foods that we like on this diet. I eat a lot of like nuts and stuff. I like that. A lot of cheeses, a lot of meats. And if you're a vegetarian or whatever, you're already on some type of diet. Just follow it. Um, but if you're not, meats, cheeses, we do this thing that's a cauliflower. We replace our rice, we replace our pasta and all that with cauliflower. And honestly, if you fix it right, you can't even tell it. Like a cauliflower spaghetti or a lasagna. It's really, really good and it's good for you. So you just replace the carbs with the cauliflower, and it really tastes good and it clears your mind. So these are things to do. Also, exercising. Um, you need to, one, I don't want to call it motivation, because if you're depressed, you're not motivated about anything. You've just got to set that alarm, whether it's first thing in the morning. I don't exercise in the morning, I exercise in the evenings. But if it's first thing in the morning, set the alarm and get out and do it. Or if it's in the evenings, just get up and go do it. You start walking. Find something you like doing. Walking, jump rope, throwing the ball, basketball, whatever. Riding bikes, walking around town, walking around the mall, walking. We've got a couple walking tracks around where I'm at. Go walk. Find a friend to go walk with. Go out, walk, and make a friend. Um, I like hiking, so you can go hiking. You can do all kind of stuff like that. Just get out, and that's two of the biggest things are what sets our mind free from a depressive state are eating right and exercising. Because I'm going to tell you, if I don't exercise and I don't eat right for a couple of days, I can start feeling it. I can start feeling my mind just getting congested, and then just not feeling right at all. Um, and it's not good. You can start stuff coming in your mind you don't want in there. It's clouding your mind. You start thinking crazy. Um, uh, just I'm not good enough or stuff like that. And I don't mean super crazy thoughts, but I just mean thoughts that just shouldn't be there. Um, so yeah, like I said, the biggest two are exercise and eating right. Out of that, again, you can go listen to the ones, the Jordan Peterson NF, and I highly suggest the Bible, picking up, reading it again. The World Bible School Bible is the one I suggest. It's a good study Bible. And then you can listen to Jordan Peterson, and you can read the book Muscle and a Shovel. Um, I don't know if it'll pick up on it, but this is it, Muscle and a Shovel. So there it is. But yeah, that's some of the things you can do as far as your depressive state. Again, seeking your help, seeking people to talk to. There was a study done here a while back. It was by a psychologist, and they sat down and they studied. It was hundreds of people. I can't remember the exact number. It may have been in the thousands. They done a study because they were all depressed. And the biggest thing these people needed outside of, they said, they needed to eat right and they needed to exercise. They just needed a decent conversation. Um, I forget how they worded it. They didn't say an educated conversation. They just said a conversation with somebody that was just on their level. So whether they were a teenager, they needed somebody, their level to talk to, or whether it's an adult, they needed somebody their level to talk to, because it's not going to help somebody get out of a depressive state that if they think they're not good enough to talk to a very educated person and they're just throwing these big words at them, they'll be like, yeah, I'm not good enough. But if you get somebody on their level, another whatever kind of work they do, another worker like that to talk to and stuff like that. Uh, so these are things that I suggest if you are depressed or if you do know somebody that is depressed, if you're having, if you're down and out or whatever, these are some of my suggestions. And I can tell you that they all tremendously helped me in, my down moments, because we've all had those down moments. And the key to fighting the depression is stopping it before it gets too far. Once it gets too far, then that's when you're going to start really having some problems. So if you see you're down and out, you're just being lazy, you're not getting out and doing stuff, you see you're going down that path, you've stopped really doing any kind of physical labor. You're eating bad. Your mind's just racing. You're anxious. You can't sleep, and all this good stuff or bad stuff. Um, these are things that you can do to combat it, to hopefully cut it off in the past, before you get into a true state of depression. Or if you are in that state of depression, these are things that you can do to help pull yourselves out. Now, again, get some help, but don't just go to somebody that's going to throw prescription drugs at you. That's not what you need. Those prescriptions, for the most part, are just going to make you more depressed. So you need somebody that's going to not just give you prescription, and they're going to say, hey, we need to do some exercising, we need to eat right, get you off this prescription, and then you can hopefully bring yourself out of it. Guys, this is Spencer with Defense Training. Just wanted to bring this to you to hopefully help somebody out, because I know what it's like to be in a dark place. I've been there a couple of times, just been down and out, not thinking anything would ever get better. It's just bad because I allowed my mind to kick in, and then start eating right, start exercising, start listening to some decent music to help you get out of that, reading good stuff, and it really helps a lot. This is Spencer Defense Training. Stay safe, stay armed.
Please like, subscribe, and comment on this video below. Thanks.